At the bottom left of the map, our prime player in red, the Terran player, who calls himself
Byun Prime.
Byun. We call him L sometimes. He seems to have a similar posture.
Yeah, for good reason. And to the top right, we have his opponent. The EG player with his lady call. He is
EGJD Lady Core.
There he is, and I mean, you can just see on his face that he didn't have a lot of time to prepare. He had to come straight to the studio. Now Byun is going for an 11-11, and he's immediately spotted by Jaedong's Overlord.
Yeah,
that is
that is very unfortunate.
I don't think I've ever seen an Overlord that spotted an SP1 to make a barracks before. This is my first time, but I don't know if Jaedong realizes it. Yeah,
he has to.
Yeah, he sends two drones. And sorry, Byun, you're not going to start your second one.
If your opponent has an SCV on the map this early, you know that something's up, and Jaedong sends out 2 drones, and this is of course horrible now for Byun. This is like the worst case scenario. He's going to lose at least one of those SCVs. Those bunkers are not going to finish, at least not both of them.
I would have thought he would have immediately canceled both barracks to try to lose as little time as possible, because he's not going to be able to finish either of those.
Yeah. This is not going to work.
Unless he's lucky with his SCV, which looks like he may be.
One of the SCVs is in the spot where he can complete the bunker, that's true. It's always at the back where the drones just can't reach it.
He's so lucky that that happened. If that didn't happen, he would have just instantly lost the game.
Not really. He several times cancelled the building and started with the SCV again so that he shifted patterns.
I just mean that if he put his barracks anywhere else, then he wouldn't have been able to get in a corner like that. So.
Oh yeah, but I think that was actually intentional.
It probably
the second barracks that he has, he was just blocking that spot that you mentioned, so he had that corner. Sorry, I misunderstood what you were trying to say.
Either way, he gets the barracks finish, which is great because
takes down the SCV on the ramp.
If he lost both of those SCVs and had to cancel both barracks, he would just lose the game.
And now there's one barracks, that's all that he's got. The barracks, well, is already camped by a few drones. The Zerglings will not be ready in time to help out here, but with the drones that he has, he can just make sure that those Marines have a very, very tough time.
He's a micro well, though.
Yeah.
That was not the best I've ever seen.
No, he's losing 1, he's losing 2, he's losing 3 drones.
Actually, Byun is like getting really excited. He's like, well, this is a tragedy, but now...
He's losing 4. The micro of Byun is excellent here.
He really turned this one around with his, first of all, his alt micro on his SCV, and now evens up the harvester count. He's still in an awkward position because he can't really produce units, and he needs to get that CC up. He checks here, looks like, to see if he's got a tight wall, and in fact it is.
Byun did more damage with this than I expected him to do after we saw Jaedong move out with those 2 drones to try to cancel both barracks. And now he suddenly has the barracks in his opponent's main base going for the scouting information that his SCV just couldn't give him.
Yeah, he wants to know, are you going for gas or not? Are you going for an aggressive follow-up, or are you going to let me... yeah, I'm behind, but are you going to let me try to catch up and just go into your own economy?
The Overlord is going to die. Well...
he can save it with these Lings, actually, I think.
Ah, yeah. Yeah, you're right. I didn't see the Zerglings on the map. Here we go, and is he getting in?
No. Not gonna get
No,
in.
he gets the SCV.
He's gonna force the repair, though.
Yeah, forces the repair. That's additional mining time lost with the 2 SCVs that now have to repair the barracks, not the command center. Guys, you're a little bit lazy, a little bit off target here to the right. Yes, there we go.
The orbital is slightly delayed by the fact that he had to use that load command for a second to put the Marine inside, or the SCV inside. And the barracks is just continuing to get scouting information. He's going to go and see the gas.
Let's have a quick look at the state of the game at this point. We have to the bottom, we have gas for Byun. We have him on 21 harvesters. He is up against 24 drones for Jaedong. Jaedong on 2 bases. Byun so far still. He just completed the second orbital command, so he now can go for the double SCV production, but he can't really mine from his low ground just yet. Going into the factory with reactor Hellions. Problem for him, of course, is that everything is very delayed here. How Jaedong started, who's by the way supply blocked for a few seconds until those overlords come in. And now Jaedong decides that with what he scouted, it's time to go into a Roach Warren and put on the aggression.
Yeah, and Byun is going into double factory play here. So he is going to be very... I mean, as far as the 2 techs go, this is much better for Jaedong. Barracks is going to block the 3rd base for a little bit, it looks like. Yeah, he does. And the Lings are going to have to kill that, which won't take too long. He even has the Queen to help out. But the two openings, how they face each other with the Roaches versus the Hellions, is going to be Jaedong's dream come true. And he's actually facing the Blue Flame version, not the 4 Hellion double reactor build.
The big problem for Byun is that if he switches with the factory to the tech lab, he doesn't have a tech lab as barracks to get into Marauder play. So he only has Hellions, and Hellions against Roaches. There was a time in Terran vs. Zerg and in Terran history where Terrans could kill everything with Hellions. You just need enough of them.
Yeah.
But these times are gone. So the Roaches are in a perfect spot to take out Byun here.
And of course, what Keller's referring to is the Roach range was increased. So back in the day, you could actually fight Roaches with Hellions, and the Roaches cannot fight you. It was not fair at all. It's definitely... that patch changed the entire game, but I think that it changed the game for the better.
Okay, he didn't switch with the Marauder. He has one tech lab at the... It built another tech lab, and now he's going to Marauder. He already scouted what was happening.
Not a lot of Marauders out for this.
He only has one, not even one. He's waiting for the first one to come out.
He will certainly lose some SCVs. The question is how many.
The question is how many SCVs and what can those Roaches accomplish. Jaedong is going for the third, going for the double evolution chamber, but now attacking with his units, trying to take down as many SCVs as possible and also pressuring those Hellions that we talked about.
Yeah, he's killing a lot of Hellions here, and at the same time takes out the SCVs repairing the bunker.
He's not even attacking the bunker. He knows there are only 2 Marines in there, so he's focusing on the rest. He killed so many Harvesters already, 12 in total. The SCV count is now down to 31 for Byun against Jaedong's 51 drones.
Fuels get dropped now. The Roaches are cleaned up here. He even jumps out of the bunker. But Byun is not in a comfortable position here. He's now behind upgrades because of those JD upgrades. Jaedong has the third. And Byun now has to figure out what his next move is, because he could go across the map and do a big attack with some Marauders and stem maybe with his SCVs. Otherwise, he's just going to have to accept the fact that he is a little bit behind in this game and sit back. I mean, he had a rough opening to begin with.
To be honest with you, Jaedong doesn't look tired at all here. I feel if that's how he plays when he's coming off an international flight, EG should send him on 1 every single time he plays an important match. Well, maybe I spoke too soon because he allows those Hellions to get into the main, into the natural, without blocking anything.
How can he allow it? Yeah, I mean, when you are facing a double Hellion play and you know it, you cannot allow this to happen. This is actually a mistake that will cost Jaedong the game potentially.
He's losing a lot of drones here now. The Roaches now moving in, trying to save the day, but he loses too much. He saw those Hellions come down to the natural a mile away.
Yeah. Wow, he's going to get even more here. One more will die. You can get a second one. Nope. But
41 Harvesters killed.
This is a game changer for sure, and I can't believe he didn't have a wall up. It's crazy.
He started to set it up. He had those 2 evolution chambers and he saw the Hellions coming. Also, when he was attacking, he saw the number. So it kind of blows my mind that he didn't start building another evolution chamber to block the gap, that he didn't send Queens in. Yeah, it's 75 minerals that you have to invest to block it off completely, and then the Hellions can't do anything. You buy some time to get the Roaches out. I don't know why he didn't do that.
It's a little bit weird.
It looks like he didn't see it.
Yeah, he must have had tunnel vision. He must have been focused on something else. But now Byun has a great timing to move out with his Marauders and attack, because as we talked about before, this happened already with one of our other Zerg players in the group. It happened to Symbol, and then he had to re-drone, so he didn't have a lot of army. And this is exactly what Jaedong had to do. So now Byun is hitting a similar timing with Marauders and Hellions now. The Spinecrawler and the Queens are so hopeful here, and Jaedong is desperately trying to get those Lings out. He should be able to hold here. It's up to Byun's micro.
Yeah, this is now becoming a micro issue. Jaedong was able to get the Harvester count up again, but of course he lost a lot of lava doing so, and also a lot of minerals. He had a lead earlier on in this game, and now he's falling behind. He needs to be very careful, because the push that Byun is executing now is really strong. Also, the siege tanks are being built. A follow-up for Byun is on the way.
Yeah, he's just transitioning into a normal game, but he's going to find himself losing one of his siege tanks right away. Nice pull with the Lings. He leaves a few Lings for the tank and then goes to the middle line, so he gets it no matter what.
Still the intent by Byun to go up the ramp, and here comes the Transfuse, and Jaedong doesn't have a lot.
Yeah, he went down into a choke point against ranged units with melee units as well, so Byun got a really good engagement here. Queen's obviously psionic units, not armored, so Marauders take a long time to kill them. But finally he breaks through, and we're going to have part 2 of the Hellion Massacre.
Great micro here by Byun as well, always targeting down the queens with the most energy first to avoid the transfuses, and now it looks like this is going to be game for Jaedong. Jaedong is losing way too much. His harvester count is down to 38 again. Wow, in the last second the queen is able to take down the Hellion. But another shot would kill so many of them.
That was so scary.
It was really scary.
Byun, though, lost a ton of harvesters too. He lost 22 to that Ling run by, so the worker count is more even than you might think. 41 to 35 in Byun's favor, but the thing is, Byun has mules, and Jaedong was not mining from his third for a longish period of time. The attack traded pretty well for him. But Jaedong is not quite out of this yet. He does have an upgrade advantage over his opponent, significant one, with 2-2 about to finish, and Pathogen Glance has now started as well. So Byun, on the other hand, has 1-1, needs to get that armory going so he can start 2-2. He's not able to take a third base with the creep spread on him. He's ahead, but he's still in an uncomfortable position. Uh-oh.
He's Hellion Rabbis. Yeah, he's going for it again, and he is not happy with what happened with the last few Hellions. Now he's taking down even more. 51 workers killed. Jaedong only with 22 with his second aggression. Wave was able to take down 10 additional ones. And Jaedong, he has the macro to come back into this game, but this is definitely going a lot better for Byun right now than when we had this Roach attack happening for Jaedong. That was the point where Jaedong was looking like, okay, you can't lose the game, or you are so far ahead that it's going to be really, not really a walk in the park, but it's definitely going to be a little bit easier for Jaedong to take the match, and then suddenly this first Hellion run by happens.
Yeah.
Now the Infestors are going to be a part of the equation, though.
Exactly, and he needs those Infestors to hold this attack. It's going to be really close. Byun, if he walks across the map and doesn't hesitate at all with his Bioforce, should be there right before the Infestors arrive.
He does not have a single unit. He has one Zergling.
He is going for the Watchtower. I don't even know what he's going for over there. I don't get it. He had a perfect timing, and now I don't even understand this angle.
Jaedong is droning up 12 drones. That's all his minerals and also all the lava that he had.
He's in a lot of trouble, but he has the
relying on the Infestors.
And he, with this weird angle of attack.
With the second one, he could kill all of them. Oh, they don't have combat shield yet. He kills them.
He killed them. And this is great for Jaedong. He's put himself back in this game.
I can't believe it.
I can't believe Byun walked up a choke point like that when he could have easily just gone to the third, or at least scanned and killed some more creep over there.
Byun didn't scan ahead, he didn't know about the Infestors, he didn't see them in time, and then suddenly the fungal hits, and the combat shield is not done. With combat shield he would have needed 2 fungals, but as it is, 1 was enough. The second fungal was something he couldn't get in, because the Hellions were chasing down the Infestors, but the few Hellions that were actually on the high ground were taken down by the Queens.
Yeah.
So, what a game, what a back and forth game. A little bit scrappy, but it's... I don't know, it's really entertaining.
It is. We have Hive now for Jaedong coming out on 3 bases. And the Ling run by here is pretty good. He's trying to bust down those Marines. He's going to hit some good fungals. And this trade was pretty decent for Jaedong as long as he can save his Infestors, and he does.
He saves the Infestors. He's moving back now. Harvester count is 68 to 58 in Jaedong's favor, so he has a little bit of a lead. But the Hellions are now starting to run down those Infestors. One of it dies. Rest of them are able to burrow in time and get away.
Yeah, he could have burrowed earlier, but he was scared of the scan, obviously, so he decided not to. Hellion does get picked off. This game is so close.
Yeah, it's such a weird match.
2-2 is about to finish for Byun, which will tie up the upgrades. +1 will finish for his siege tank soon, too. Jaedong has a lot of gas in the bank, so that's going to help his transition to Greater Spire quite a bit. But he doesn't have even a regular Spire yet, so that's going to be something he has to add. It's going to be a bit expensive.
Resources lost are nearly even. Jaedong lost a little bit more, like 500 resources more than Byun. +2/+2 for Byun just completed. Jaedong at this point has +2/+2 on his own. Here come the Zerglings running into the third base. No defense for the Terran player.
Yeah. Yeah, Jaedong is doing so much with this. Goes in, forces all the SCVs off the line. His opponent's army is out of position, so he can grab so many of those SCVs, but he's got to defend his 4th down. That's a lot of siege tanks.
Here comes one fungal onto the tanks, not doing too much. Infestor just able to get away, one of them dies. The rest of them still in position where they could start fungling as soon as Byun clumps up his Marines.
He's targeted down Infestors with this group of Marines, so smart, he gets another one. Jaedong looks like he may go for the flank. He's got the Zerglings at the back, and he wants to fight Byun's smaller army instead of waiting for Byun to get all of his units together. Here he goes. The flank is good.
He leads with the Infested Swarm X, tries to make sure that those siege tanks don't get the damage up against the Banelings. Here come the Infested Marines.
This game is so close. He moves forward, takes out those Infested Terrans. Jaedong a little bit low on energy for those Infestors. And now Byun's army is all together, but he does get a good fungal.
He
There's
needs
so many
another one.
medvacs.
But now the Infestors are completely exposed. He mismicroed them and run all of them into the main body of his opponent's army. GG. Jaedong loses the Infestors, and without them he can't win the game anymore. He can't stop the push, the onslaught of Byun. The prime player takes the game.
That was a game that Byun really got lucky at several points in to win, but his build and his follow-up was very good. It was all about the Hellion run-bys.
Jaedong did not see the Hellion, the Hellions move in. One evolution chamber would have solved the problem.
We're actually going to play another set before we go into the break, of course, so we transition to a normal up and down situation.
Should be Center versus Shine now, coming up next. I think we are now back on the normal schedule for the matches today. So Center versus Shine is most likely going to be our next game. It's going to be confirmed in a few seconds. But yeah, talking about Jaedong versus Byun, Jaedong had a beautiful position, and then he allows the Hellions to get into the natural, and in total, the Blue Flame Hellions killed 41 drones.
Yeah, that was quite a bit. It was a big oversight by Jaedong to not have that logged, even though he saw the Hellions coming.
Yeah.
And Byun transitioned really nicely. His unit control was very good in those last fights, and Jaedong's, on the other hand, was a little bit shaky with his Infestors, losing so many of those. Byun going in and picking off specific Infestors with little groups of Marines, really nicely done.
Yeah, at this point now we have Byun and Symbol being tied for first place with the 2-0. Jaedong has 1-1 in the group, and we have Center and Shine at the end of the group with 0-2. This is going to change after the next game. One of them will already be out, has no chance of advancing anymore. Whoever loses the next game, Shine or Center, will be in Code A next season, and the winner still has a chance for a tie situation later on, and maybe advancing to Code S.
It's very true. It's always funny we have this many players from one team in a group.
Yep.
I think this is the first time we've ever had 3 players on the same team in a group that's 3/5, so we're going to have a lot of team matches.
I think this is the last one. I'm not sure, but let me just double check. I think it's the last one that we have, and yes, this is the last team match that we have. Center versus Shine. We already had Center versus Symbol. We had Shine versus Symbol. So that's the last one. The last of the 3 that we are going to have today, and one of them will have to seal his opponent's, his former teammate's fate. Whoever loses this is out.
It's kind of sad, but it's the reality that you face. It's a great thing that all these players get to, for the team mentality. It's like, oh, great, we all made it to the wildcard group, but we all have to kill each other now. So it's kind of a sad twist of the ending there.
Antigua Shipyard is the map for our Terran versus Zerg. So far, the players have not joined the lobby yet. Going to be invited in just a second, and then we're going to find out who will be in Code A next season, who still has a shot to advance to Code S in today's wildcard group.
These 2 players are so closely matched, I feel, that it's going to be a really close game. It's going to be exciting.
Yeah, they are the young up-and-coming players from the TSL team. Of course, Center just making his appearance now. It was the first Code A season that he played, whereas Shine was already trying to get into Code S several times. He lost once. Did he lose once or twice in the 3rd round? I actually don't remember. Against Terminator, he lost in the second round, and which gave him the spot here and the up and downs. But then he was able in the 1st round to get in the first Code A season that he played into the 3rd round, where he played his own teammate. He played Polt, and Polt obviously took the game, advanced to Code S, and that was kind of the time when Symbol for the first time had to face the up and downs, where it was not successful. So he has a bit more experience in this situation than his opponent. Center already in the lobby. We're just waiting for the Zerg player now.
Yeah, just waiting for him to get in. And Center is a player who has shown great potential just very recently, specifically. And I wonder if that's going to continue on. We talked about how closely matched these 2 players are, and they are fighting against each other to decide who gets that prestigious Code S spot. There's going to be a lot of emotions going into this, considering that these are going to be the last time that we see these 2 players wearing their TSL hoodie even. Their teams disbanded. This is a very emotional match that we're actually about to witness. I'm excited to see the outcome though, because to me, when I watch this, all I know is one TSL player is in Code S no matter what. Well, actually, that's not true. But one player is still in the group no matter what.
Yeah.
And at the same time, it's cool to see them, just how friendly they are with each other, how they talk to each other.
Sander versus Shine coming up next here. And, well, right now, both of them need a win, and they desperately need it. Of course, this is also going to affect the other games a little bit. We're going to talk about this in a few seconds. The game is already loading. We have a Terran versus Zerg, this time on Antigua Shipyard. Let's see who can take the game, who still saves himself a chance to advance to Code S, and who will drop down to Code A. Shine versus Center, both of them are still rocking the TSL hoodie, but the team is... Yeah, the team is already dead. This is the last time you are going to see these hoodies. The game is live. We're jumping into the match. GSL up and downs. The wildcard group today, Shine versus Center. Brought to you by Kalman Wolf.